Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah and this is Vhagar. So today's going to be kind of a fun video. I've gotten a lot of requests on how I braid Vhagar's mane for when I'm training her and riding her because it is pretty hot here in Texas. So that's exactly what we are going to do today. I'm going to give you guys an up close, detailed explanation of how I braid her. And we're gonna just go ahead and get into it. So she is a mess. She came out of turnout, so I brushed her down a little bit, but she's all bleached from the sun and her mane is a mess. So I'll show you guys just kind of the beginning of what I do. I don't like to run a brush through their mane just without any product in it because I can already feel tangles and I don't want to pull any of her hairs out. So I'll go in with a detangler, and this is the one I use. It's Cowboy Magic. It a little bit goes a really long way with this product. So, hi Bubby. Yeah, not sponsored, but I have used a lot of this product on a lot of horses. If you know of anything better, I'm open to try new things, but I've just used like a little finger size ball, and I rub it into my hand, and then I go with my hands and I brush it through using my fingers. So that's kind of how I work most of the knots out. You can see she's a little sweaty today already. So I go ahead and I brush it out, and I don't always go in with a regular brush afterwards. It just depends on how tangled she was. So she's not too bad right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run quickly through with a regular brush. I don't like to use the regular brush too much because I don't want to be pulling any hairs out. So if I notice a spot that's a little tangled, I'll go in with my fingers and do it again. And just really try and brush it out. I haven't brushed her like fully in a couple days, so she's shedding a bit on me. But that is just kind of the basis. It's not really like, it doesn't have to be that crazy to do the braid for training because it's something we do like every time we work because it is so hot here. But it's more just so that when I go through with the braid, she doesn't get super tangled. And then the next thing I'll do is, she does have a bridle path, so that makes it a little bit easier to know where to start here. So if you can see up top, so her bridle path's right here, and then I'm just gonna grab a tiny bit, maybe it's about 3 fingers worth, and I'll make each one a section. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3 sections. And then I, just out of habit, I always start the right section over the middle. And you would braid it just like you would a normal braid, but when you go down for your right section, you just add in a tiny bit. And so you just continue your braid, and every time you get to the right side, you just add in a tiny bit more and continue braiding like normal. And then if I run into any tangles, I just untangle them with my fingers as I am going. So there's a lot of different braids you could do. You could do smaller braids, you could do a bunch of different braids. I tend to do this one just because for me, it's the fastest to get all the mane off her neck. Yes, and sometimes I get a stool and do it so that it's not so much like of an arm workout. But I mean, I could get her to learn to put her head down. I just haven't spent the time doing that, but she stands still, so it's not like it's been an issue for me. I do use a stool sometimes if I'm not wanting to have my hands above my head, but we've kind of done it enough times that I don't even really have to look up to get it done. We just can go by feel. But I've been doing this braid for quite a long time. She is like the first horse that I've owned that has enough hair that it'll actually stay.
You normally own bald old men?
I do. I have old geldings that don't have nice manes, so that's kind of been my personal horses. Well, Cat wasn't old, but he didn't have much of a mane either. So we just keep going until we get all the way down the neck.
You're pretty fast at this.
Yeah, we do it a lot. So you can see I do the braid. I'm not going super tight with my braid, but I don't want to go too loose either, because since it's just one continuous braid, if you do it too loose, as they shake their head or as they're walking, it'll just fall out. Even at this, like it gets loose pretty quickly. But I'm not looking for a braid that's gonna last, you know, all day. I'm just looking for one that'll last, you know, for the training sessions. And for her being so young, the training sessions are so short that, you know, it lasts just fine. I think if you can go in and add a ribbon to it, and that'll make it last longer. And then once I go to the end, this part's kind of short to reach, so I'll just leave it loose, and then I'll just finish the braid a bit. And well, since we're working, I don't go like super far down with the braid. Ooh. I just go a little bit, and then I normally store my rubber bands on my finger, so they're easy to go. But I do it, you kind of have to play it by feel with your horse and the length of their neck and stuff. I like the braid to be a bit tight, but not so tight that if she were to lower her head or stretch out her neck, that it's really pulling on her. So it is still like there's some distance here, and it's a little loose. But that's how we get her nice thick mane off her neck, so that she's not extra hot while working. You are covered in sand. You love playing with the sand hill, huh, baby? Yes, you love the sand. Sand and sun. So you're no longer black. You're like seal colored now. Sand and sun. She's a beach baby. Wannabe beach baby. But yeah, so if you guys want to know anything else that we do with Vhagar, drop it in the comments. I'm always happy to help or share any information. And she's been doing really good. She's a little silly baby.